Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of All Bronze No Brains, your one-stop spot to shop for all your Buffy needs. We're on episode 52 of the podcast, and today we're talking about Buffy season 3, episode 18, Earshot. Sorry.
Earshot.
Earshot. This episode was written by Jane Espenson and directed by Regis Kimball. And Regis is actually an editor. David, I think he's only directed like 2 episodes of things, but most recently he was working on Alien Earth, and he also was editor for Fargo, the TV show.
Oh, cool. Never seen it.
Oh, it was good, sure. This episode was originally meant to air in April 1999. However, a week before the episode was due to air, the Columbine massacre occurred, so it was pulled from the network, and it actually didn't air until September 21st, 1999, which was 2 weeks before the season 4 premiere and out of sync with the rest of the season.
I was going to say, was it just randomly aired?
Yeah.
While some of the topics in this episode are heavy, we still want to chat about the episode in like the normal way that we do. But if you or anyone you know is affected by any of the issues you've seen or heard in this episode, then please know that help is available, and we will have links below. And so this is a trigger warning for school shooting content and suicide.
Ow.
Fuck me, Tony. I did that so sincerely, and then you're like,
It's okay. I can cut around it. I just accidentally banged my hand. Okay, now before we get into it, we like to come in with the hard questions. Who has the most unhinged inner voice at Sunnydale High?
If Buffy's in my thoughts and my thoughts are me, do I cease to exist? And is she everything I am?
And what superpower would you want to get from a demon? Big demon dick. Roll creds. Well, off the top, David, what did you think about this episode?
I enjoyed this episode. Thought it was very funny, surprisingly. Just in the way it was done, it was very deft and like didn't go really deep into like Jonathan's stuff. It was sort of, I didn't mind that. I thought it was quite like, maybe when we get to it later on, I'll talk about it a bit more, but like the way Jonathan says that I'm not here to shoot anyone else, I'm here to shoot myself, was sort of, there's a comedic way that he did it or something.
Yeah.
In my view anyway. And I don't know why.
All right, go ahead then, Jack.
All right, work away. So I thought it didn't get like, deep and heavy like the way some episodes have gotten. But like, not that it should or shouldn't. I'm not judging that either way. I'm just acknowledging that it was.
Well, this is our second episode of the season that like deals with like social issues like this that both have been written by Jane Espenson. The last one being Gingerbread, with kind of the witch hunt about censorship. So it's funny, she just really had her finger on the pulse, I think, of what would continue to be.
I don't think you could say finger on the
on the pulse,
on the trigger.
Finger on the.
What did you think of this episode?
I really liked it. There's like a couple of big, like thematic key stuff that I'll talk about at the end. I tried to keep all of that more towards the end to talk about it in one go rather than to continue like talking about it throughout the episode. So stick around to the end, guys, or fast forward to the end, I guess.
Imagine just skipping to the end. The hellos and goodbyes is all the people like to watch and listen to. Who cares? Get the stream. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, as long as you listen for 3 minutes.
Was that what the rule is?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a quick previously on basically what has happened in the last few episodes. So it's not a very big. There wasn't really much in it. And then we have probably the shortest cold open that I think we've had in Buffy ever. So the cold opens with Buffy running like fuck from a couple of fishy looking fucks. They do look like fish. They look like the thing from, what's that movie where your woman bucks the fish?
Oh yeah, The Shape of Water.
They look like the Shape of Water demons, or fish, or demons? Whatever.
I don't care.
Has a nice quick fight. Throws a quite good throw onto a picnic table and kills it. And we see like a bit of the blood from the demon lands on her hand and disappears in a similar way that you would get in an episode of The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Oh yeah, I love that.
This is it. One demon gets away and then we hard smash to the credits. It was such a short cold open. By the way, that clip of the demon running away is used twice in the episode.
I noticed that.
It's the exact same clip and I was like, you lazy bastards.
I know, because it really hammed up the point that those demons, that especially that one that ran away, just running away like such a big fruit.
No, it was really. And yeah, it was as short as fuck cold open is what I've written here, Tony. Anything to point out so far in this short as fuck cold open?
Yeah, I love when the show opens with Buffy like pretending to be a damsel, because that's kind of like the whole point of the show, is to subvert that trope of, you know, the weak blonde girl. So I just love any moment that the show uses to kind of reinforce that. I love Buffy's line when she says, "You demons can't resist a run and stumble." I
Yeah,
just
it was
thought that
funny.
was a great wee line. Buffy catches the knife that the demon throws at her, like the same way that she catches a knife in the Buffy movie. And there's a couple of kind of throwbacks to the Buffy movie in this episode that I'll talk about as they come up. But when Buffy first meets her watcher in the movie, he throws a knife at her and she catches it like that, and she's like, "You threw a knife at my head."
Why did you say it like Kal-El? No,
Kal-El, no, you
you
threw a
threw a
knife
knife at
at
my
my
head.
head.
2 weeks in a row using that same joke.
Angel, no.
Are you against me too?
Kal-El, no!
I love that demon blood, like the glow in the dark demon blood. I'm like, put a black light on my house. That's pretty much what it would look like as well.
Black light on your chin.
On my mouth.
What?
After the credits, we open Sunnydale High. Buffy and Willow are chatting about the wee scabby demon.
Who's Bay?
Was that a Michael Jackson reference?
Yeah.
Random. Your fucking ADHD brain.
Sorry, there was a funny Michael Jackson reference in the last episode. You were talking about the shaman, and I went, shaman!
No, I remember you saying it. So I'll start all that again. We open, after the credits, we open in Sunnydale High, and Buffy and Willow are chatting about the scabby demon. Giles comes in saying they are doing loads of research and basically have no clue as to what's going on, what the ascension is, or why it's happening.
That was kind of an anticlimax.
We don't know anything.
We see Buffy scratching her arm or her hand, which I've written Chekhov's itch.
Yeah.
Wesley comes in very much looking like John Cleese. The way he walks in, it just reminded me of the way John Cleese walks. It's just very straight backed, and I was waiting on him doing like a goose walk. Being a little bit snippy with Giles, which I love their little chemistry of that little like goody two shoes and the bit of the ripper coming out in Giles, who in turn puts Wesley on the spot too, asking him, well, you've got more resources and blah, 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 so what's going on? And then as he mentions the demon Amarath,
That the demon Azarath will not in any way be involved in... I'm sure we'll find out more
and
soon.
then the scene ends with smug Giles drinking his tea. Like,
The demon Azarath?
The demon Azarath. Mm-hmm.
that's that for that scene. This episode is a lot of show don't tell in it, which Jane does quite well.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of like, you just watch it, and do you know what I mean? There's not a lot of exposition per se.
Or they're very smart in hiding the exposition behind a walk and talk, which is one of my favorite things that Buffy doesn't always do, because they're usually like quite sedentary, like in the library or something. And I love that this scene started with a walk and talk into the library. And I'm like, where are they walking to? Church by the looks of it. Fucking Buffy in her church gear. I love when they're talking about the demon and Buffy says they've got no mouth, which means no teeth, unless they have them somewhere else.
There's
So that was quite funny.
a load of like wee sexy references throughout this whole episode.
This episode feels almost like a real evolution of like a season 1 comedy episode. Like there's a lot of great comedy, but it really balances the tone well with the seriousness in it. Like even Cordelia, I think, has like she's brilliant in this episode too.
Didn't think you were finished. Is that 2? You said that like you're in the middle of a sentence.
I thought you were going to say something. I didn't want to talk over you.
I was, but I was waiting till you're finished.
She's brilliant in this episode too. She just changed the inflection.
2. I disagree.
What a big fucking surprise.
Okay.
Like, no, I think she's funny and stuff, and it is giving me season 1 Cordelia, which was a bit annoying to me. And I mentioned it later on in
Okay.
my notes that it felt like, why has she taken a big old step backwards in her character when she had developed a little bit more, and now she's just being that one note.
She's not being like anchored by the Scoobies anymore. They were almost like the thing that was making her nice.
It's not even niceness. It was like, It was the fact that anytime you go into her brain, she wasn't thinking of anything. And I was like, no, I thought they sort of implied that she was smarter than that.
I think the opposite, because I think she was always thinking what she was right about to say. So that to me, I felt like it was like she's one of the only, like, showed her as being quite like self-aware, and that she always says what she thinks. She doesn't like kind of beat around the bush with what she's thinking.
Very good. Never thought of it that way.
But I also noted Wesley's little run into the library as well there, because I was like,
Yeah, it was just really weird the way he did it. Or like,
yeah, it was so gay. Just like when you're late and you're already in the room for something and you're trying to like hurry up across the classroom or something.
But you've like dandered through the corridor slowly,
Yeah.
and then you only rush at the end. We move into the hallway, and Willow, because yes, you're right, actually, a lot of the scenes, they move into each other, which is quite cool. We move into the hallway, and Willow's checking in with Buffy about Angel, and Buffy's explaining why she's weirded out. Basically, did he like it with Faith, and that sort of watching him with Faith and stuff was a bit uncomfortable. And Willow comes back with the same old good standard Willow advice of why don't you just go ask him, which I really liked because it's, good advice and it worked last time. So why don't you just fucking do it again? And then Hoagie something brings out some jealousy in Xander. So we've obviously been introduced to a new character. I know who Hogan is now at this point, as I've now seen the whole episode. But when I typed up my notes, I hadn't met him yet.
Hogan Martin thinks he's so hot. Like we should all be awed by him because he can put a ball in a net.
Hey, Xander.
He said my name. He knows my name.
And then we get a little bit more of Percy West, who's still being nice to Willow. So I like that they've carried that on. This episode, I really liked that we got a lot of school time. We got to lead a lot of background characters and people we've seen in the background or maybe been referred to or like brought back again. Like Larry comes back later on, and then we get and Jonathan's obviously very important in it, but we don't know that. We get the new sort of red herring of the editor of the paper, who looks like the quintessential
Twink.
oh, Twink.
I think I referenced him as Twink later in this episode.
But I like that I didn't like, but like Willow's still being a teacher and has such teacher vibes. Like even throughout this whole episode, she has such like teacher vibes, and her confidence is obviously growing quite a lot. And we found out that Willow's kind of into basketball, and I was like, lesbian. I was like, more lesbian hints.
Yeah.
Fine, stick up for the wee lesbian.
Anyway, we see Buffy is envious that they all get to go do the normal teenager-y thing of go to the basketball game that night, but she's got to patrol because that's her unpaid job that she has to do. And then we see her scratching her little hand again. Oh. Anything here?
Like what you said about getting lots of school time, that's something I love, the kind of busyness and the bustle of the school. And I feel like the students are actually looking quite studenty here for a change, which is quite nice. They're not all like middle-aged people. Well, they're still middle-aged, but they're not as middle-aged.
They're doing a better job of acting younger.
Yeah. Budget must have been up at this point in the season because the amount of extras for this whole episode is just insane.
Oh shit, yeah, good point.
Xander, I think that is so relatable when he's like, when you hate the cool person until the cool person talks to you, and then you're like, oh my god, they know my name.
Yeah, you were like that a lot in school.
Yeah.
You totally, you
like
were
that.
such a Xander in school. I've never realized this before until right now.
Yeah, I wasn't toxically masculine though. I was toxically feminine. I love seeing Percy again and reaffirming kind of Willow's cool ranking within the school. But I just like there's a lot of juxtaposition or like paradoxes of the way things are meant to be in a typical school hierarchy. Like Willow is kind of cool, not by association, and then later when they're at the pep rally, they mention it being boring, which is meant to be like the cool thing of the school. So I kind of like that we're now Buffy continues to kind of subvert those expectations
quite early on in the grand scheme of the noughties and late 90s, early noughties. Because like I think there's just so many high school comedy dramas that, not even just comedies, that come out, like She's All That and like all those, like 10 Things I Hate About Him, Hate About You, Hate About Her, Hate About Them. Buffy's just done it first. It's quite interesting. They've done, like, you're right, because even the Scoobs obviously have a little bit of clout within the school. So we cut to Buffy showing Giles that she has a really fucking itchy hand.
No big.
Just another problem for the good people at Lubriderm, right?
Is the demon in question?
In the disgusting flesh.
He shows her a picture of the demon and mentions casually that they can infect the host. Isn't that what the line is?
Yeah, because then Buffy says, infect. Infect.
Giles. Infect?
Which I loved. He does that. It's quite funny. Oh, infect the host with an aspect of the demon. And it's that line, aspect of the demon, that's kind of
Yeah.
blasé and non-specific. Buffy looking concerned, but Giles thinks it could be like a new fabric softener or something else is causing the itch, blah, 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 blah. And I just wrote Buffy's quite funny in this scene.
Yeah.
I think she's quite funny in this whole episode. She's the kind of comic relief.
Yeah. I feel like she hasn't got to be funny for a while because she's just been fucking whinging about Faith being a murderer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
But again, it's something I do pick up on now because you've mentioned it before, is that Giles just is always devil's advocate. He's like, well, it's probably not this, it's always this. But now that I've noticed it, it becomes annoying every time I'm like, even later when she walks in and she's like, I read your mind. He's like, I don't believe that this isn't necessarily like real mind reading. I'm like,
why don't you believe her? Like, she's always right. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that I've infected an aspect of my demon in your mind.
oh my God, put a black light in my mouth.
So we cut to the cheerleaders all cheering Hogan. It just actually gives me the ick. It makes me cringe so much watching, like, Crystal Carpenter's not a very good cheerleader.
No, that's something that I've got written down here as well.
The Scoobs are dissing the pep rally, and Buffy is acting weird, like touching her hair a lot. And then we find out that she's checking for horns, which kind of made me laugh. And Willow's being a nice friend, slabbering about Giles not doing his best work lately, and like he's just kind of not really on it. And then Willow implies that she will grow a big old willy.
Was it a boy demon?
And then Xander and Oz are also being funny. Xander being jealous of Wesley looking at Cordelia, and I think like Oz says something. There's a line that Oz says like, "You're a complicated guy" or something. They're like,
yeah,
you're a bit complicated. But I love Oz so much. I hope he's just absolutely adored by the fandom because like he really is such his stoicism, and also goes to show that what do you call the actor again? I always forget his name.
Seth Green
is such a good actor because like in different things that I've seen him in, he doesn't play that stoic character. He plays really wacky. He's so good.
Considering he's the son in Family Guy.
I know that. Yeah.
I'm just like, so he's obviously brilliant at comedy, but it's so funny because he doesn't really have that much to say or necessarily do with Oz, but he still does so much.
He does so much with Oz because like without, but I think a lot of he is the straight man. Like V in this podcast, he is the straight guy, like where the comedic stuff can bounce off him. A lot of times the funny things is him not reacting. That's what's funny. It's like him just going like, just his stoic straight face that like, and even later on when Buffy starts to read his mind, it gets quite funny. He's obviously a very deep thinker. Yes, so we see Wesley looking over Cordelia again. Who is this guy? He doesn't work in this school. Like, is anyone going to ask why that guy's coming into school and staring at that one cheerleader? Buffy is concerned about this thing inside her, changing her, and Willow trying to help while still sort of cheering when Percy's name gets called out. She has a wee, yay! I just, they're all on their A game in this episode, I think. Like, comedically, it's very funny, which I think, again, as we're going to get to, the tone shifts a little bit later on, but I think it gets to because it's so light. You just know, like, whatever the thing is that's wrong with Buffy isn't going to be that big a deal because they're not really digging into it too hard. Do you know what I mean? Anything from this little pep rally scene?
Yeah, I love this scene because I feel like it really watches like a play. The way it jumps between like Oz and Xander and Willow and Buffy, and it felt like that when I was watching it. So I really enjoyed it. It reminds me of that opening scene from Grease, where it's like the guys do a couple lines, the girls do a couple of lines,
Yeah.
like
Hey, Sandy,
because it's in the school. And like I mentioned before, I love that this thing that's meant to be cool, they all find really lame. It's the pep rally's meant to be this like cool thing with all the cool people. I love that Willow reads the quote from the newspaper Freddie Iverson, the twink. This says the pep rally is a place for pseudo prostitutes to evoke men into a sexual frenzy, which I just thought was brilliant.
Especially as we have Wesley standing staring at at them.
Oz says a line about he doesn't read the paper recently, he just goes straight to the obits.
I read that
It's
bit.
funny that their school paper has a obit section.
Oh yeah, I never got that because so many people die.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Willow being such a good friend when she's talking about Giles is just like, the comic timing is brilliant of it when she's like, he's totally burnt. Between you and me, he's not doing his best work.
Just being
She's
such
just
a
so
little
great.
bitch. I love it.
And then her line about, was it a boy demon? I was just like, it was just really funny, I think, the way it was delivered. The cheerleaders, they're not even spelling things, because I'm pretty sure Cordelia does the letter Y for the 3-letter name Tom. T-O-M. But I do like that Oz kind of makes a joke later when he's like, their spelling's improved.
Yeah, that was a funny joke.
That
So
was
many
great.
funny little lines in this whole episode. Again, this whole episode, that scene especially. And I get what you mean. There's a movie that I remember watching and really loving when I was a teenager, and it was a movie about a play of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Cisco's in it. And, dong, 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 dong. And it's got the guy who plays the angel one in X-Men. It's actually a fucking great film.
I feel like I vaguely remember it.
I can't remember the name of it, but this scene really brought me back to that film, because that film is a Midsummer Night's Dream kind of, the way like she's all that.
Yeah.
It's like the way they're all Shakespearean essentially. Like Lion King is Hamlet or whatever. They use A Midsummer Night's Dream as the play within a play, because anyway, a lot of stuff. This just really reminded me of that film. I'm so sorry, folks, if you're watching this and doing such a bad job. Hopefully Tony edits me being good at this. Can't even say that. We transition to later that night when Angel appears behind Buffy, as she couldn't, when she's looking in the mirror to check and see if she's got any horns. She then he scares the shit out of her
Oh my god, I forgot Abe was sitting there and he just shaked and scared me.
because you can't see him in the mirror, which answers the question. No, we can't see vampires in the mirror, which is important later on when she tries to read his mind.
Well, we already knew that, but
No, I asked the question because why is that vampire in the mirror? I thought you couldn't see vampires in the mirror.
it was to do with the photograph. Why did the vampire photograph?
That's it. Oh, and then we figured out that they don't use mirrors in Polaroids.
No, it wasn't that. It was just that they had just decided to, for the sake of the story, to let them appear in the photo.
Well, I remember getting to the bottom of this. Certain like Canon A1s and stuff, they use mirrors to get the light in.
Polaroid uses a mirror as well.
Oh, right then, okay. Then they're shit then. I hate this TV show. I'm away. Bye.
So yeah,
I just did. I'm really nearly hung up. Angel's checking in on Buffy and she keeps bringing Faith up. She explains that the issue with the demon, and Angel says it's an exaggeration. What the fuck am I talking about? Angel's being very sweet, saying he will love her when... I think a lot of the scenes weren't really like... I would have to just start writing the whole script out
Sure, Jan.
to explain, like, this is what they were talking about. She's basically still talking about Faith, still uncomfortable about it. Angel says it's an exaggeration. What am I talking about there?
I don't know, David.
Who fucking knows?
I think it might be the aspect of the demon as an exaggeration. Oh, because demons exaggerate about their... That's right.
Oh,
He
demons-
says, like,
yeah, okay.
he said
Oh,
that
yeah.
demons
Hit that
exaggerate
part from
about
the
their
top.
power. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Fuck me.
Okay.
She explains that the issues she's having with the demon, that she may have been infected with an aspect of the demon, and Angel says that demons exaggerate all the time about their power and that it may not even be that big a deal. Thank you for doing this sincere nod there, Tony, about my terrible way of doing this before. I know you're going to put in how shit I did it before anyway.
I won't.
Angel was being sweet. Yeah, see your little evil look up. You think, I won't. You did it, fuck.
I was thinking that last night when I was watching the trailers, you know, where they're in the car and they're like, I believe you're faithful. I'm like, yeah, I am. I would totally be going to like the car camera, like,
I know, I would be struggling not to do that. I think someone did that in the Celebrity Traders. Alan Carr did it one time.
He was
But-
the worst, but also brilliant because he was like,
fucking he won. He nailed it. Anyway, we will talk about Traders later on. I have to. But yes, he says that he will love her even if she is covered in slime, which I thought was very sweet.
aye, his slime.
Jesus. Talk to me about this fucking scene, please, for the love of Christ.
Buffy. Wherever Buffy's walking from, she's walking super fucking slow. It's, like such a stage walk. I'm just like, if that was the speed at which you were walking through the town, it's like, no wonder you're not killing any vampires because you're on a main street. And there's like, what are you doing?
Hurry up.
I'm bothered a bit by Buffy. I'm bothered a bit by Buffy and her reaction to the whole angel faith thing. I understand it because she's an insecure teenage girl, but it is really annoying because she asked him to do this plan last week.
Yeah, but do you know like how, and well, you'll know this more than I, in threesomes, never had one, but in threesomes, right, where like, yeah, you're really into it and you do want to have a threesome, especially three boys,
Especially 3 boys.
but your partner's getting into it a bit too much. You know, like, I think it's the fear that he was enjoying it a little bit too much.
Oh, yeah.
Even though she asked for the threesome, but it's like, oh, hang on, I didn't expect you to really get into it that much.
I understand the insecurity, but it's more how that plays out in her because because she's like, oh, I should have known you were there because I couldn't see you. Or, oh, I guess, are you here because you're looking for Faith or because you're looking for me? I'm like, you agreed. So anyway, maybe that's why I related to it because that happened to me a lot. I've never had a threesome where someone wasn't more interested in the other person.
I thought my analogy of a threesome was very good there. It just came off the top of my head. Very proud of that.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good for a straight person.
Straight people have threesomes too, you dick.
Do they though? Not good ones. I do love that line from Angel about I'll love you even if you're covered in slime. I just think Angel's he's just so cute. And he's
In
great.
this episode, like he does hammer home like he really fucking loves that wee girl, like, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he's also very mature about it. He's like, which I guess is part of like the...
Being 247 years old. So we cut to the next day. Willow's excited about the game. There's a joke about Oz nearly showing some emotion, which I thought was very funny. Buffy shows up and everyone's trying to hide their excitement. And Cordelia does show up, and it's very funny in this scene where she just immediately was like, they were saying it wasn't a very good game and it was like a bit boring. Cordelia's like, what are you talking about?
It was an incredible game. I've never cheered so hard in my life. I still have knee marks on my back. From the pyramid?
Everyone looks at her like, dirty bitch, and I'm like, but what would a knee mark on her back be doing? Anyway.
Well, I thought I saw a four-legged demon. But it was just a dog.
Were-dog?
Regular.
Oh yeah, are were-dogs a thing?
No, I think he's just saying like, oh, like a werewolf, like that kind of dog.
Stupid bitch!
Sander thinks, I wonder have Wesley and Cordelia smooched, and Buffy asks him out loud.
Really bugs you, huh?
What?
Cordelia and Wesley smooching.
Man, you read my mind.
I caught an aspect of the demon and now I can't conceive.
And then we cut to a break.
Xander's shirt in this scene looks like a tablecloth in like a Belfast Mexican restaurant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
And he also mistakenly says, and this is for all of our American or non-British listeners, Willow says, oh, they should rename Hogan the Jumper. And Xander says, or maybe something that's not an article of women's clothing. I'm like, a jumper isn't just an article of women's clothing. A jumper is like a sweater. So for all of our Americans listening, a jumper is just a sweater. It can be worn by any gender. Clothes have no gender.
Oh, right. Is that in America would women only wear jumpers?
No, but I think Xander's he doesn't because they wouldn't call it a jumper.
I've never heard an American say a jumper.
No, I think that's why they don't know what it is. But I'm surprised that made it through without like even Anthony Stewart Head saying something like, that's not a jumper.
He wasn't in the scene. He probably didn't watch it.
Oh my God, so true. Buffy's bringing a little season 2 energy with this tank top. And for someone who's worried about getting horns or turning scaly, she's certainly got those yayas out. I love that the gang are actually such good friends to Buffy that they don't want her to feel bad about missing out on the good night. I just thought that was very, very sweet.
Was very sweet.
And again, we've obviously got Cordelia ruining that by saying, I still have Nemax, still got Nemax on my back from the pyramid. And yeah, this is when we get the sign from Buffy that maybe, ooh, is she reading someone's mind? And I do love the effect of the voice in the head, because it's like the normal line, but it's got a whisper. The same line is like whispered underneath it. I wonder if her and Wesley have kissed. So if you say, I wonder if her and Wesley have kissed, and then you set normal and I'll whisper it after 3, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I wonder if Tony and David have kissed.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
No, you spunk to my ditties. Anyway, after the break, Buffy's walking the Sunnydale High corridors when she bumps into the oldest teacher on the planet, Mr. Beach, and she hears him thinking, students, if we could just get rid of all the students. She overhears multiple students' thoughts. We hear an Asian kid talking about, oh, just you wait till I'm a software billionaire and you're flipping burgers at Arby's. A woman, yeah, she is a woman, I guess. A student by the a student by the water cooler saying, French. I said, how hard can it be? French babies learn it. Idiot. And then the guy with his trousers, he pulls his trousers up and he's like, someday my pants are going to fall right off. And then Buffy hears a guy saying, Buffy's so beautiful. I mean, look at that body. And I love that Buffy stops to like be admired. She like puts her hand up before his thoughts turn dirty, and she runs off down the corridor.
Have you just edited that yourself now? You doing like insert clips live?
I accidentally spelled dirty with 2 R's, so I think it just made me, when I read it, want to sing it.
Accidentally, or have you forgotten how to spell the word dirty because you've typed out Christina Aguilera dirty so much?
I think Christina Aguilera has 3 R's, but I'm anti-literature. I remember one time Kelly was trying to say that she's illiterate, but she didn't know the word for it, which I just think is so funny. She said anti-literature. It's just something that's always stuck in my head. I love stupid people. We cut to Buffy in the library asking Giles, is this the thing? Because this is way better than a tale. Giles doesn't believe it's genuine mind reading until she tells him what he was thinking when she walked in. He says, look at her shoes. If a fashion magazine told her, she'd wear cats strapped to her feet. And Buffy hears Giles thinking, the demons are telepathic, that's why they don't need mouths.
Great impression.
And then Buffy's like, yeah, I know, because you just told me in your mind. Giles is astounded by Buffy's new ability, and she tells him that Principal Snyder has a walk like an Egyptian stuck in his head, and that the boys of the school are basically giant, massive perverts. But think about what she could do. And Giles is like, oh yeah, this is so good. You're going to be able to like predict your opponent's every move. And Buffy's like, no, way better than that. And then we cut to her in English class answering, jealousy. reading the teacher's mind to get the answers right. Anything about that little scene before we go into the classroom?
It was just a good, funny scene. And again, you're right, Giles just doesn't believe her until she has to really hammer home her ability to read minds. I thought it was funny. The wee cat line, funny. It was the shoes, that what she had read in his mind when she walked into the room was very funny and very on Giles.
But it's funny though, because she's literally just wearing a black wedge. So there's like, they should have thought about, this is one of the things I'm like, they should have thought about that whenever they were doing like the costume design.
Do you not think wedges look like ankle breakers?
No, not really. They're very stable.
You're very stable? Only joking.
Oh my God, Jesus was born in the stable. You're saying I'm Jesus? Oh my God. So we cut to the English class and we've got Nancy, aka Crunchy Curly Hair American Doll. That's what I've called her until I learned her name.
American Doll.
She's absolutely raging. She thinks, I knew that. I love her part in this episode. She's so great. I've got some stuff to talk about her in a bit. They're talking about Othello, and Buffy is able to use... Sorry, my brain is literally like, they're talking about Othello. Like, oh, you know your Othello from down the street?
I thought that's it.
They're talking about Othello, and Buffy is able to use the teacher's own thoughts to give her some whopping great answers. And we hear Willow thinking, Buffy did the reading? Buffy understood the reading? And Xander's thoughts are like, what did Buffy study? Was I supposed to study? Miss Murray's kind of hot. I love that. And then Crunchy Hair American Doll Girl is still raging, thinking, I was going to say that. Ugh, I hate her. Buffy overhears a twink saying, look at them scrambling for the teacher's attention like birds for bread crust. And when she asks Willow who that is, Willow's like, that's Troye Sivan. He does poppers. I feel the rush. He's a double of choice Savant. JK, it's Freddie Iverson, and he writes editorials for the school paper.
Who's Troy Sivan?
I knew you would know him. It's the gays will get it if anyone's gay.
If anyone's gay watching a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast, please. If anyone's straight, it's a question.
Right, quickly Google Troy Sivan so I can get your live reaction to Freddie Iverson.
Okay, fair. Who is this person?
He's a singer.
Beautiful eyes. In this one, he kind of looks like the kid from Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, he does actually.
Just in that one bit.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Willow calls Freddie Iverson sardonic. And I was like, what a great word.
I always think it's sarcastic, but I don't think it is.
It's like darker than sarcastic, but it's not intently malicious.
You're so smart. I forget that you're really good at English.
From the Latin sardon, from the Power Rangers. Sardon. Oh, that was a stretch right there. Buffy answers one last question and the whole class is like, what the fuck, smarty pants? And they turn this lesson of Othello into one about Buffy and Angel, which I thought was done quite cleverly, with the teacher saying, you can never really see what's in someone's heart. As we crossfade to Angel's mansion, who nearly gets burned alive when Buffy comes trundling through the curtain. Thoughts on this scene?
Yes, I think she's not actually reading. Well, she does read the teacher's mind at one point, and she says, I mentioned that in my PhD or whatever it is.
Or thesis.
But I think that she's reading the mind of the smart girl. What do you call her? That hates her?
Nancy?
I think it's mostly Nancy's thoughts, because I don't know why I get the feeling that she's reading Nancy's mind and not the teacher's, and that's why Nancy's really angry, because she's actually just getting there just before Nancy says it. That's just the only thing I've noticed.
No, see, because you hear the teacher's voice.
Oh, do you?
Like when, when Buffy says jealousy, and the teacher, you hear the voice, it's not Nancy, and I think that's why they have Nancy saying something like, oh, I hate her, to kind of
right, okay.
show
I
you
didn't
the
notice
tone
that.
of how she speaks.
Fair. Right, well,
Wrong again.
It just made me think of school and academic rivals, and I wanted to ask you, like, did you have any academic rivals in school, like in business studies or anything? Did you have anyone that you kind of?
no, I knew that I was a B student. I would never try to compete. I was very good at knowing when I wasn't quite, if I knew what I was good at and I knew what I wasn't good at. You were probably one in drama. If I had an academic rival in drama, you would have been the person, because you were so good at it. And I was like, I want to be as good as Tony at drama. And then I bettered you.
You didn't. You love thinking that, but
Okay.
didn't. It's okay.
But no, not really. There was all like Jill Cochran was the smartest person in all the classes at all times.
I literally wrote here, Nancy reminded me of Jill. Jill used to hate when I did better than her in English, because I sat beside her in English.
Yeah, you had a bit of rivalry with her, I think, because you're very smart. Tony's very smart, and wouldn't really try that much, but would probably be at home studying like fuck. So he was acting like he wasn't trying that hard.
I was watching Buffy loads.
I know, but Tony would be very good at like. No, I didn't really have anything in business studies. I just was flirting with girls, to be honest with you, badly, as I still do.
What a waste that was.
And but I remember, did you change? I remember Jill getting very upset with you, or was it with me? And I can't remember which one of us did it, but one of us changed her name in her English textbook. One of us changed her name.
Jill Cochran.
Was that you?
I think it was both of us.
I think it was both of us. And I remember she was really, and I have this so deeply in my brain, because I was like, oh, we're bullying this person, because like, just in that subtle, like, I'm not getting into it, I'm just saying, like, she was very upset about that, because the teacher was really, I remember, what do you call her, Miss?
That's also because she's so straight. Jill was so straight-laced.
Yes, but what was the teacher called?
Miss McCaffrey?
Miss McCaffrey, yes. And I remember Miss McCaffrey being really annoyed, but having a smirk on her face whenever she'd read it. Who did this? That, like, you know what I mean? Like, no. And then I could remember her trying to make her rile up her anger, because she was initially like laughing.
Jill Cochran.
It was
But then she became Jildo for like the rest of school.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you get a nickname and you fight against it, that's going to become your nickname hard.
I don't really remember her hating it. I just remember thinking it was
I
so
remember
funny.
her being very angry because I was in her form class and she was really
Yeah.
pissed off, and I was like, it was Tony. 100% threw you under the bus. Well, you're below me right now. Threw you under the bus.
That's okay.
I am the bus, and you've been thrown under me.
It's so funny. When I was thinking of this, and it's really maybe bad to think this, I was thinking, I don't think I had any academic rivals except for Jill. I don't mean that as like I was the smartest. I think I just never really viewed, I wasn't competitive really in that way. Like I loved doing really well, but it was only because I wanted to do really well, not because I wanted to beat other people.
Yeah, I was the same. I just wanted, to be honest with you, I just wanted an easy life. Still do. So I would just be
Yeah.
solid B. The things that I was good at, I was really good at. So I could sing. So I would just do quite well in music, but
Yeah.
but not in any of the academic parts of music, just in the literal performance bits. And I was kind of I quite like science. I really liked history in third year when we learned Irish history instead of British history. I loved that. But no, not really any academic. I did love the people that really give a fuck, that would no, one was Melissa Gordon. Wasn't an academic rival, but I remember because I kind of fancied Melissa when I was in school. And we're also really good mates. And I remember when she needed to learn how to do French, and I was like, I'll help you do French, and was helping her study loads, and she got an A and I got a C. And I remember that so badly. Somehow she was able to, and the only other class is Irish. I wanted to be really good in Irish, but it was just languages I really struggle with. I found out in classrooms, but not in real life. For some reason, when I'm in a place that is speaking that language
It's
and
totally-
it's a
totally different.
different way of learning because I have to know
Yeah.
it. So it's I still remember one from age school when I went to see Kira in France a long time ago. She was living there, and I was like, "Je voudrais," is that how you ask for I would like? And she was like, "Well, that's
Yeah.
very formal. Could one please have?" It's like "je vais." You would say "je vais de bière," and I was like, "All right,
Yeah.
cool." And I still remember that because it was something and I needed to know it for. So even
Yeah.
if I go to France now, I'm like "je vais un café," or half the time you just say un café, or they don't give
Yeah.
a fuck about whereas we over speak, I feel like, in English.
And if you don't do it with the accent, there's no point in doing it.
Oh no, I always do it with the accent. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I love being in Switzerland and getting to speak any French, but everyone spoke English, so it was so annoying. So I would just always be like "Merci beaucoup" when I was in the shop. Bonjour, bonjour. My French voice is deep.
Yeah,
Bonjour.
I was about to say, do you not notice that they speak in guttural, in the back of their
Yeah, and
merci.
Spanish is very da 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 da, up.
And Italian too. Eh, patate.
It's a me.
No, it's not that.
Racist.
No, there would be quite. It wouldn't. Yeah, it would be a bit like that, but I find Italian it's like a rhythm thing rather than. Oh, my biggest compliment. Sorry, I'm gonna get actually back to the episode. My biggest compliment when I was in Florence over Christmas I was there for Christmas Day, but I felt like I was dressing quite well when I was there. I was actively made sure to dress quite nice, had nice shoes on, and
I've seen your shoes. They're straight man shoes.
yeah. What's that mean?
Remember, I was like, "Tell me you're straight," without "Tell me you're straight," and then it zoomed into the picture you sent me, and it was just you're formal shoes on the floor.
Yes, my little purple brogues. But people would speak to me in Italian first.
Ah, grazie mille.
I don't look Italian, obviously, with my big Mr. Tito head. I obviously am dressing well enough because obviously Italian men dress gorgeous. A lot of leather, but they dress really well.
Yeah, they do love leather.
Anyway,
So Buffy's at Angel's place, clearly trying to read his mind to see what he thinks about Faith. But Angel sees right through her, and he tells her that she really should just ask because she can't read his mind. And he tells her it's like a mirror. The thoughts are there, but they create no reflection in you. Angel tells her she doesn't need to play games, just to ask him. And he tells her that he hated doing all of that last week and that he doesn't want a bad girl. Basically, he shagged tons of girls like her and he wants a good Christian girl like Buffy now. He tells her that... Sorry, there's a fly. He tells her in... Oh, sorry, I feel a sneeze coming on.
no, don't do it.
Okay. He tells her in 243 years he's only ever loved one person. Darla. It's her. It's her. Oh my God, it's her.
Darla.
Darla. Darla.
So Angel tells her she needs to be careful with this gift because it could be dangerous. And he jokes, oh, I love this part. Angel jokes that he's dying to get rid of his immortality. And Buffy's like, oh my God, you should do stand-up comedy, oh my God. And Angel's so deadpan and straight faced, and he turns to her and he's like, I'm a funny guy. He's like, so, I love it. And he's so fucking gorgeous. But he's so cute. You hated that, didn't you?
No,
You hated
I
him
thought it
saying-
was a funny episode. I
Oh,
thought it was
were
a
you
funny
not
scene. I
bricked
thought
up?
Angel was good. It wasn't bricked up. It's a brick house. Sorry, it's always whenever I hear the term bricked up, I go into that. What's wrong with you? Who sent you a dirty message?
No, it was someone called Rachel Berry messaged me, and I got confused because that's the name of the girl from Glee, Rachel Berry. I was like, but I realized that's a character name, not the actress's name. I was like, oh my God, Leah Michelle's messaging me. No, it's to test a crochet pattern for a jumper.
It's a brick house.
I don't know what that reference is, but I don't like it.
It's a song. How do you not know that song?
From It's a Brick House. I'll see if the line
If
is
you hear
exactly
that
like
song, it is exactly like that.
that. Who's it by?
I don't know.
Then how the fuck would I know it if it's not by the Spice Girls or Girls Louder and it didn't call, right?
You have ruined my
Fanny. Hole.
algorithm. It's by the Commodores.
Oh, the Commodores. I know not.
It's a brick.
That's something I've
house.
always been really good at, is that I only need to hear a line in a song once and then I feel like I can sing along to the rest of the song.
I hate that about you because I can't remember lyrics forever and ever. Amen. This scene was really good. I thought it was a funny
wasn't it?
scene. I quite liked
Yeah.
that she was trying to hammer it, trying to read his mind, and that we get silence from him, and that he totally calls her on it in a very quiet, gentle, Oz-like way. That
In a
he
grown-up
has it.
way that's like, I'm not playing your fucking games, bitch. I actually would have loved it if he had just said that to her, but he kind of
Wouldn't have
did.
got past the censors.
Censor? Barely know her. Oh my God.
But no, it was a really nice scene. There's not really much to add to that. You said
Yeah.
everything.
Your jumper's lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice cable knit.
Cable tie. Thank you.
Oh,
It's
where'd you
getting
get
quite
those
baggy.
cables? Frocking chairlift? Where'd you- You're gorgeous. Right, so back in the library, the gang are being... People are going to think I fancy you because I just keep talking about how gorgeous you are recently.
Yeah, but you're being sarcastic when you say it, so...
No, I'm actually being serious. So your glow up needs to be studied. Sorry, that makes you sound like you were a horrible monster before.
Your glow up needs to be studied. Sounds so sarcastic.
I meant it really though. No, I meant it in a good way, but not in that way. Anyway, so back in the library, the gang are being debriefed on on Buffy's new mind reading abilities. And we hear panic from Xander because all he can think about is sex. We hear worry from Willow because she's worried that Buffy won't need her anymore. And we hear Oz's existential dread about not existing in his own thoughts. One of the things I loved about this scene before I continue is that Willow's thoughts don't match what she's saying, which I think is a really great way of underpinning that Cordelia says what she thinks and she's very honest. So that's why I quite liked that juxtaposition that Willow's saying to Buffy, yeah, this is really good or whatever, but her thoughts are kind of betraying her in that way. And that's where I wrote Cordelia's thoughts are the same. I just love that they're so simple and they're the same thing right before she says it. She's like, I'm bored. I'm bored.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get that. I read it as the other way of she doesn't have any deeper thoughts because you've got Oz going into existential crisis. You've got and she's just has no deeper thought than whatever, I don't care. That's it. And I just thought
she's very present.
yeah,
in the moment.
maybe that's what it is. Maybe.
I do love that even in this episode, which shows us how much she's annoyed by everything going on and she still is willing to help. So at least I think that is one saving grace. Wesley tells them that they will probably all be thinking what they don't want Buffy to hear.
Sorry, can I just interrupt you 1 second? Saving grace. I just had to say that. Sorry, I was singing in my head really loud. If you could read my thoughts, that's all you would have heard.
I could. I also hope that Tina Arena shares the story that I tagged her in from last week. I'm going to do it again.
God damn
I'm going
it.
to do it every week until she retweets me. Anyway, Wesley tells them that they'll probably all be thinking what they don't want Buffy to hear. So they need to have mental discipline. And then he starts thinking about Cordelia. And I just love that Buffy then is like, it's so funny. It's very well done. Like physical comedy. When Willow asks Buffy what it's like, Buffy tries to explain, but Buffy gets distracted by hearing Oz's thoughts. And then Willow starts thinking about Buffy hearing Oz's thoughts. And Willow's like, I can't deal with this. I need to go. And then Oz goes, and Buffy delivers a line that like cracks me up so much. I laughed out loud. Buffy says, well, I guess I won't be writing that book when he threatens through telepathy. And it just like I was literally pissing myself laughing when I
It's a funny line.
That was so funny. Wesley pops his wee pedo head out of the office to see if Buffy can hear him thinking in there.
Sweet pedo head. Sorry, that was good. Sorry.
And he's like, can you hear me thinking? And Buffy's like, oh, it doesn't matter, I've got a headache anyway, I'll be the one that goes. Thoughts on this thing?
I thought it was brilliant. I think I read a few different things in you when I was watching it. The fact that whenever Willow's talking and thinking, she's talking and thinking two separate things, whereas everyone else talks and then thinks. So it's like I got it that she's very intelligent, that she can do multitasking of like the depth of her thoughts and feelings are like so vast. She could do those at the same time. I like that it was Xander was just thinking about sex, because honestly, as a teenager, if somebody could have read my mind, I would have just been thinking about fucking everybody.
Especially in
It's
school, if someone
insane.
had read my mind, it'd be like, especially if it was in PE, it would be like bulge, 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 Mr. Bulge, Mr. Mr.
Battle of the Bulge. That was what you called PE.
Yeah, seriously. That's what I call my weight crisis.
Is it a crisis if it's been going on your whole life?
Yes, because in the grand scheme of the universe, I'm here just a blink in the eye.
In this whole episode, Buffy looks beautiful. Like, her makeup is on point, and just the way she's carrying herself or something. And when she leans forward in that scene to look at
Wesley,
all I could think was like, I fancy her so. She is
she's
so
gorgeous,
beautiful. Like I could just see why she's such, and even not like anytime she ever pops up, and because my algorithm's fucked with Buffy stuff, like if she pops up and talking in interviews and stuff, so beautiful. Even there's just something very like beautiful about her, I guess. But it's like it's not just like her structure, because obviously like Cordelia is beautiful, but like
it's an internal thing. It's like her actual charisma, and how ironic that the one called charisma has the least amount of it. Oh my god!
But like her eyes twinkle, like the way she does like you almost see her eyes twinkle, and I'm like that she just, it was so good in that part. That's what I noticed. It was a funny scene to show how like the chaos and basically hammering home what Angel said, like this isn't necessarily going to be a good thing.
We're back in the school hallway now, and now we're starting to see the overwhelmingness of the power that Buffy has, because we hear so many more thoughts, and it's mainly all negative thoughts, which I really like. This aspect of like how everyone is in their own world and they all have their own problems, and we hear things like, I hate my body, no one's ever going to love me, what if I never get breasts? Well, that wasn't your problem when you were 13.
Why won't my breasts go away?
Yeah. And crunchy curly hair American doll again saying like, I hate her. And Mr. Beach saying, get rid of the students, it's that easy. Giles is doing some research in his wee room, and he finds out that this has happened before to a man in Ecuador, but they can't communicate with him because he's in complete isolation because he couldn't shut the power off. I always think of telepathy as being able to hear people's thoughts, and then I was like, well, just put headphones in. I was like, that's obviously not how telepathy works.
Yeah.
Because it's just in your your brain.
Yeah. Like bone conducting headphones. I'd love to get those. See, I have terrible hearing, but apparently bone conducting doesn't affect it the same. It's better. No, like the way, someone will tell me I'm wrong probably, but the way Beethoven like bit when he lost his hearing, he bit on the piano, so then he could feel the music and therefore hear the vibrations and know what he was playing.
Yeah.
You know this?
That's cool.
He
No, I
like
did.
created a metal rod, then he would bite down on it and play the piano so he could still hear it, because whatever type of hearing loss he had. I think I have a similar thing. So if I had like bone conducting, I would be able to hear music really well.
New horror film, The Bone Conductor. It's just an orchestra of boners like popping up. So Buffy's in the cafeteria getting some lunch, and the voices start getting louder and louder, and they're all overlapping, and all of a sudden it gets very quiet, and we hear one sinister voice saying,
This time tomorrow, I'll kill you all.
"Oh, grrr!"
And it cuts to break.
Cuts to Labrac.
Cuts to Labrac.
Anything to say about that there?
I agree with you about that all teenagers are just thinking about themselves in a negative light. And like most teenagers, not Cordelia. And I quite liked that, and that was very important to hear that scene for later on. It pays off later on with the scene with Buffy and Jonathan. And it's also just that thing of like, I would have been someone that would get easily embarrassed when I was younger. Or like, God, everyone thinks this about me and everyone thinks that about me, until I remember reading this thing about that, like, people only remember you for like 10 minutes and then they literally forget about you, no matter what it was. And it's like, oh, right, it really doesn't, like, nothing happens. Like, if you do, like, I fall all the time, and I, like when it comes to singing, especially, like, trying and failing and then just continuing to sing anyway, like, no one cares. Like, I genuinely think when I'm teaching people to sing and be like, just go for the note, try it and see if you can get it. And then like, it's half the time they could get it if they weren't thinking about it, but they start thinking about it and then they are stopping themselves from getting to that note.
It's totally a confidence thing. That was my biggest problem when I sang, was that I could sing in front of you or like a very small room of people, but as soon as it had to be more people, I just didn't like it.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, you feed off that.
If I have a few people in the room, I get more nervous. But if the most I've ever sang in front of, well, apart from like the millions whenever it was in The Voice, but they weren't in the room, was 4,000 maybe. I did like the Pride in the Pride in the Square,
Custom House Square,
and it was packed. It was completely. They had to close the things, and I remember being like, it was the easiest gig I ever did, because like people in a crowd don't want to stand out. They want to like it's an odd thing. I don't know. I much prefer the more people, the bit like a Dirty Onion night is so much more fun when there's like 300 people in the room, and then you're just getting them all to dance like fuck, versus the Foundry in an afternoon when there's only like 5 people. Because they're very individual, and then you're trying to appeal to individual tastes, which is impossible. Really boring. But I like that it stops people from, I don't know, stops me getting embarrassed about anything, even when I fuck up, or if I like, I don't know, I don't get embarrassed very easy unless someone gives me a compliment. Then I get kind of bashful and embarrassed.
Yeah.
I blush a little bit whenever people pay me compliments.
Faggot.
Yes. Anyway, thought it was a good scene. Everything up until now was very good. I like the lunch lady. How much she was, I know she's important later on, but like, I liked how she was just, our lunch ladies were class.
Yeah, they were. That's what I was thinking of.
There's always like a thing in that trope in American things, so the lunch ladies always like gross, and I'm like, ours were amazing. Like, they were so nice, and like got to know you and all, and we'd like give you the extra thing or give you an extra scoop of something if you were dead on.
Yeah, I always used to get free cans of Coke because I was a tramp and had no money, and she would always just let me take it. I want to say Shirley, but I don't know if that was her name.
I
But
think it might have been Shirley.
She was lovely.
We open after the break with Buffy dropping her lunch to a wonderful round of applause, which is not what would happen in Northern Ireland. Tony, what would happen in Northern Ireland?
Yeah,
banging on the tables. Yeah. Which is my favourite thing that never changes. It happened in a coffee shop. I was in Nero. Somebody dropped something behind the thing, and I heard a yeah. It's like, fuck, it never changes. But she is panicked, and she starts running around grabbing people to find out who said that everyone's going to be dead tomorrow. But then the voices get too much for her and overwhelms her, and she collapses.
I think she's waking up.
It's okay. Oh, thank God. Her eyes are opening.
Very short little scene. There's lots of short little scenes as we go on through the rest of my parts anyway. So she opens spins her eyes to the Scoobies standing over her, and we know that they're not speaking, but we can hear Buffy's reading of their thoughts, that they're all very worried about her. And then we get a very empathetic Cordelia saying, I told her not to move you, you probably got a severed spinal cord, which is quite funny. Buffy tells him that there's a killer in the cafeteria. Buffy can't seem to focus and cope with the voices that are in her head, so Buffy's getting everyone to make a list of the students and teachers who are in the cafeteria, and Giles is going to take Buffy home, but not without whispering in his head, if it doesn't go away, she will go insane.
Bitch gonna go crazy.
Bitch goes crazy. And then I have lots of stuff coming up next. What have you got to say for that little part outside?
For the cafeteria and the outside part, I know I mentioned this earlier, but I love the voiceover effect with like the kind of the whisper underneath and the echo. I just thought that was a really interesting way of doing it, to have it. I just like the thought of like people's thoughts are just like whispering to themselves. I just like that. I love the direction.
I have something I want to fire in. I just had a thought.
Okay, fire it in.
Some people don't have an inner monologue. Do you know this? Do you have an inner monologue? Like are you narrating your life as you go through it?
In what way?
Do you just talk to yourself in your head?
I talk to myself in my head and out of my head.
Yeah. But you have like an inner monologue, like a voice in your head that says like, I wonder if that thing's going to do the thing. Or like when you're reading a book, is there a voice in your head reading it out loud to you in your head?
No, I don't read out loud like that. That only because I used to try to do speed reading, and that's why I can read quite fast. But it's about like letting my brain process it rather than reading the words. If that makes sense.
Interesting. So there's like, I'd be curious to know. There are people that exist that do not have an inner monologue, like at all. So they're sitting quietly. There's nothing going on in their head. It's silent, and they also don't think like. So I'd be curious to know if those people existed. Would there just be silence coming from them, or she's like, do you know what I'm like?
Interesting.
I remember speaking to someone and I was like, like your inner monologue, and like, what? And they'd be like, like you're just like saying things in your head, like, oh, I wonder if this thing's going to happen. And they're like, never do that. It's like, what? And they're like, what do you mean? It's like when you're reading a story or if you're reading a book or something, you're not like the words are being spoken out loud in your head as you read them. And they're like, no, I just read the words. And it blew my mind. It's just it's like trying to explain to someone who's blind or deaf, or like someone who's blind what color is. Do you know what I mean? It's like just two different completely. It's also trying to explain to someone who's tone deaf, like tuning, and like, why can't you hear this thing? But I found it really, and then I just had thought, I was like, I wonder in this world, would you be able to read someone's mind if they didn't have an inner monologue? Because it seems like that's what she's reading, their inner monologue, those thoughts that are being said. Anyway, thank you, Tony. Continue on the direction.
I love the direction of like the way they have the camera spin around her. It's just very like basic and simple, but I just thought it was a very effectively done. The same with, I love that shot of everyone looking into the camera when she wakes up. I just love stuff like that. Chandler makes a joke about the lunch lady doing them in with the mulligan stew, and I did a little bit of research into what mulligan stew was.
Thought you might. What is it?
So a mulligan stew, it's also called a community stew. It basically is like a bunch of homeless people would take what they have and put it all together in like one big pot, and then it means they would all have something like nice to eat out of it rather than their own rations. But a mulligan was also a slang term for an Irish person, so it's kind of racist.
Oh, right, okay. That's interesting.
It was during the Great Depression, like homeless people would sleep in what was called a hobo jungle, which was like a big community maybe under like a big bridge or something.
Yeah.
And that's where the people would kind of come together and put all of their food in. So it's kind of like a mix and mash stew.
Have you ever heard of perpetual soup?
No.
Or perpetual stew? I think there's one in, I want to say like Thailand or something, where it's like
They never let it run done. They just keep adding to it.
yeah, so the flavor gets deeper. And there's one that's like 70 years old that it's never been, because they keep the temperature above 65, and it never, even at night, they would like add a load of water into it and then get it back up to temperature, and it would just, so no bacteria can grow, and it just is called perpetual stew or perpetual soup. It sounds really,
I love that.
I love that too.
I've only heard of perpetual diarrhea. It's kept at 65 degrees and constantly shooting out my arsehole.
So we cut to the
Xander,
library.
no,
Oh,
we don't yet. Not
oh
till
no,
I'm
we
done.
don't. Not until he's done.
Xander has the first joke about the school shooting, which I'm not going to say I thought was great, but I thought that the jokes that are made about this were done really well because it highlights how insane the whole thing is. Xander says, who hasn't idly thought about taking out the whole place with a semi-automatic? And they all look at him. And he's like, I said idly.
Yeah, that was funny.
And Cordelia's like, I'm not getting any warmer.
And it's mad that this is before... I'm not getting any warmer. This is before Columbine. Just before
Yeah.
Columbine.
Yeah, this obviously was written and filmed like way before,
Months,
but
yeah.
this was obviously at the time in the 90s. I mean, God, it is insane to think like how school shootings are way more prevalent now than what they
Yeah.
were back then, and this is still a commentary on
I
that,
talk
but-
about that a little bit later on in my notes.
Take it away, girl.
Cut to the library. Willow says she will run.
Sorry.
Wait. So we cut to the library. Willow says she will run the list of students against the FBI's list of mass shooters tendencies, which I was like, what the fuck is she? How is she?
Mass murderer profiles.
Yeah, and I'm like, but do you have like? Do you know? I was going into it, and then I just stopped myself and went, I'm just going to suspend my disbelief right now, because I'm like, so what, do you have like a profile of everyone? You're going to make a profile of the hundreds of people that were in that anyway. So then I just told myself to shut the fuck up.
No, the FBI would have mass murderer profiles to say like
yes,
these are
but
the
she would have to
things
make
that-
a profile on each person that was in the thing. To make a profile, it's like a big, it wouldn't be done in an afternoon, is what I'm saying, because there was like 100 students in the cafeteria at that point. Let's even say 50 students.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's
So
it. I guess when you think about, because the questions were tailored to the... Watch out, that was a funny point. But yeah, you're right. It wouldn't happen in the afternoon.
You'd have to match up their profiles. But then I told myself, shut the fuck up.
You're like, that's unbelievable. They're trying to save their friend who's telepathic.
I know, but it was like that I could believe within the thing, but her having this magic ability. Sometimes whenever the techie stuff comes in, I get a bit like, that's a whole career that you're just,
I know,
that you're just able to do, like hacking into stuff is like.
I definitely have ended up like watching things and stuff and then kind of Googling, like in incognito mode, like how to learn to be a hacker, or I'm just like, or how to like, find this information like through someone's website, or I'm like, oh my God, it really is a skill.
Yeah, it's a whole career. Oz makes a quip about mass shootings are bordering on trendy at this point, which I was like, holy fuck, Nostradamus alert. You have no idea. Wait until you get the fucking Sandy Hook and that sort of that. Wait until the mass shootings move from fucking high schools to kindergartens, which is the most I just wrote, wow, little do they know.
Yeah, that was preceded by lines from Xander and Cordelia where Xander said, I still can't get my head around that someone's just going to gun everyone down for no reason. And Cordelia's like, yeah, because that never happens in American high schools.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's so on point and also quite brave, I think, for Jane to kind of have written this.
But it wasn't as big a thing as it is now then. Do you know what I mean? Columbine was the big change in it. So I think that's why there's a more lightheartedness to it. But I think the lightheartedness, I agree with you, I think it works because it's so...
It underpins how ludicrous like that can even happen.
So Buffy's being tucked in by her mum, Joycey Woicey, who keeps leaving the room to give her blankets, to get her pillows. And I'm like, you're in LA, it's not that cold. She's not sick. She's like offering to get her soup and stuff, and she's just basically avoiding Buffy and keeps trying to leave the room, after which when she's like, I'll make you some soup, and goes to leave, Buffy, in probably the best line and the funniest thing that I've seen Sarah Michelle Gellar do in this TV show was like, you had sex with Giles? You had sex with Giles? And then I wrote here, oh my God, I completely forgot about the fact that Joyce and Giles had bucked, and that obviously is the only thing she wouldn't want her to know about, so it's the only thing she's saying in her head. On the hood of a police car? Twice? And it's just those lines perpetually. The way she delivers them is comic timing's amazing. Very funny. Such a great little scene for nothing other than the the joke
Yeah.
that will
And
play
also
off later
Giles.
on. Oh,
Definitely know her.
back to the library. Willow's whittled down the list, and Cordander are going back and forth. Where have I stolen that from?
Major Slades.
Major Slides
Sketching.
is a big shout out for Major Slides. I just only ever did it once, and it's a pastiche to you. I'm not trying to steal your bit, but I love
They're
that.
they're coming to visit me.
No way.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they've got a house in Wrexham and they're going to come up to Glasgow for a couple of days.
Wrexham, hardly knew.
Oh my
Mhm.
god! Not with my dick. But yeah, they're coming to see me.
Back at the library, Willow has whittled down the list, and Cordander are going back and forth, sniping at each other with a little bit of that chemistry we haven't seen in a little while, which I like. Willow tells him to fuck up, and I love bossy Willow. I like when she
Yeah.
takes charge.
Be
and-
quiet!
Be quiet!
Yeah, and even like I had paused at that point to type my notes, and like you can see Oz, it just goes like, there's just a wee reaction on him, which I love. And we transition to Willow questioning Jonathan in the library, and Jonathan is quite funny here because he's like, "What do you mean?"
You want me to pay attention?
He just doesn't really understand the questions, which I thought was, there is a lot of jumping between the interviews, so I'm going to just do a load of them and then you can bring me back. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oz interviews Hogan, asking the questions very straightforwardly, which I thought was funny. But Cordelia just comes straight out and says, like, "You're going to kill loads of students tomorrow?" I mean, and then she
Oh, it's
says
for the
something.
yearbook.
Oh, it's for the yearbook. That's what it is. And I quite like that Hogan's like, "Am I answering that right?" I quite like you get an insecure jock.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He seems like I thought he was going to be, maybe does later on become something, but I quite like him. He's a nice character.
He never comes back.
Oh, really? He's just such a nice character. I quite like that the jocks aren't immediately cunts. Xander uses it as an opportunity to pick up girls, which is a classic Xander thing to do.
Classic
And then
Xander.
Oz checks in with Fred and the editor and notices all the depressing headlines and leaves. And then the camera pans down and we see Freddie is hiding under his desk. Anything about the wee interviews that you see that we have seen
Yes,
thus
and also just a tiny bit before then, when they're in the library and Cordelia like wants to work with Wesley, and Xander says she's no shame, and Cordelia says this great line, "Oh please, like shame is something to be proud of," which I thought was great.
That is a good. That made me think that one. I was like, huh.
Willow interrogating Jonathan is a bit of a throwback to Go Fish, if you remember when they were trying to find out who maybe has something against the swim team.
I do not remember Go Fish at all.
And it turned out Jonathan peed in the pool, but Willow's like interrogating him in the
Oh,
classroom
yes.
with like the lamp on him.
The lamp. I do remember the lamp. I don't remember that
So I
episode.
love that. Alison Hannigan is just she's really hilarious at pretending to be serious. That's why
Yeah.
I just thought that was very, very funny.
It's like a grumpy toddler. When a toddler's like telling off their parent or something, it's like, shut up.
It's like, so you want people to pay attention. And he's like, what? Oz talking to Hogan. I love that he's like, yeah, this is for the yearbook. Do you ever think you've created a false persona of yourself as a guy who does everything right, and how much of a strain does it put on you to maintain it? And he's like, moderate strain. Is that a good answer? I want to get this right.
That scene was so good.
It's so funny. Yeah, I loved Cordelia just talking to Mr. Beach. She's like, "Hi, Mr. Beach. I was just wondering if you're planning on killing a bunch of people tomorrow." "Oh, yeah, it's for the yearbook." The article titles that are framed in Freddie's office were so funny. I don't know if you saw them, but I paused to read them. It was "Teachers Fail Competency Exam," and the other one was "Apathy on the Rise. No one cares."
That's funny. I read that one.
And also, how flexible is that twink getting under that desk?
It's just a reference of Twink. He is quite flexible. We cut to the evening at Buff's, and we can see her looking out the window, and she's hearing like everyone's thoughts from further away now. So it's not just, it seems to be getting stronger. Sorry, this dog's really pulling away at my fucking arm. This is every day at around this time. She just gets this wee hour of wanting to fight. So my apologies, but she'll not. Fuck off. So don't mind it. Anyway, so she can hear the thoughts coming
Except
through
that toy's really rustly. Buffy's hearing all people from the street.
And then she lies down in bed and she could still hear, it's obviously doing her head in, she could still hear the thoughts coming in. We move back to the library with Winston and Giles trying to see if a sort of spell or a potion would work requiring the demon's heart, where we have a classic ask and answer edit. with who will get the demon heart book. He calls him Burke, which I love whenever
Yeah.
English people use that.
Alexandra Burke.
Not a swear word, but like, yeah, I don't understand what that's supposed to be. And then it cuts to Angel kicking the shit out of a demon. The demon in question, which is a good fight scene. Demon gets away from Angel using the exact same running shot that we've seen earlier on, and then Joyce watches Buffy sleep and looks concerned. These are all very quick little edit scenes
Yeah.
from one to another. Anything from those?
Yeah, my only thought was like when Giles is like, how are we going to get the heart of this demon? Like, how are we going to do it? I'm like, obviously, it's Angel. It just, that was the only part where I was just like, why are they working so hard to figure this out? It's obviously going to be Angel. Stupid bitches.
I didn't think of Angel, you know.
I did. And that demon is just literally running around Sunnydale like a mental case. Like,
What's it doing? We didn't even find out what the demon was doing. The people, like, it wasn't eating them because it doesn't have any mouth, so it's just
standing about.
Standing about listening to people's thoughts, going like, dirty bastard.
Just attracted to the Hellmouth because of the energy, you know?
Oh, yes, that's right. We cut to the school the next day. Willow's still doing some hard-ass detective shtick, interviewing the nerdy girl that hates Buffy. Her name was
Nancy.
And then Xander chats to Larry, who's like, do you think maybe because you're like hiding like the fact, he's like, what, that I'm gay? He's like, I'm out. I'm so out. Like, even his granny is setting him up with fellas, which I loved. And then he turns it around on Xander, like, are you shy about like about coming out or something, which I thought was a great callback to that whole thing. And he's so sweet. Like,
I just forgot Larry was in this episode. I thought it was like it was a nice little surprise when I was watching it, and he's so sensitive and lovely now. But I love how that like really permeates through someone's whole
persona,
through some
their whole
through
body,
their whole.
through their whole.
Guys love permeating through their holes.
He even mentions that Freddie will do a coming out announcement for Xander, which is like, imagine that was a thing. You could like, here, could you just stick in the paper I'm gay? Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's like
You'd love
something
that.
tasteful.
Anyway, anything from those few bits and pieces that we've seen thusly?
No, just that I loved seeing Larry, and just that Twink is avoiding everyone and being very suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
Suspicious Twink.
Oh, yes. In the meantime, we cut back to Buffy, who's struggling to keep the thoughts out of her head, and Joyce is super concerned. Angel arrives with the glowing blue stuff, the heart, I'm assuming, which is in bits and blue,
Yeah.
and pours it into her gob, and she has a bad reaction. We cut back to the school, at which point she's like shaking, and Angel's like, fuck up, stop moving. Cut back to the school, and we're in the clock tower, which is such a classic thing. And we see that wee tiny Jonathan is about to build a gun, and woof, that took me because I didn't realize it was going to be Jonathan. Thought it was Freddie, my love, and it wasn't. And we cut to a break, and that's it.
Giles is in normal clothes when he's standing with Joyce. He's like leaning against the wall, like, and he's wearing like I'll put a picture in here, but he looks so sexy. When Angel shows up as well, the way he like whips the blanket off him, I'm like, yes. It was like RuPaul's Drag Race like reveal. It's just like super suave and sexy, and I loved all the steam coming off him from not steam, the smoke from burning from outside.
He's steaming.
He's steaming, and yeah, that chunky blood heart drink looked absolutely rank. But what can you do? I do love the score, how we get this kind of military like vibe when it cuts to, you know, Jonathan in the bell tower.
Oh yeah, there was a change in the score, and that's the
Yeah.
first sort of serious score we've had in the whole episode.
Yeah, because there's been that kind of fun comedy, almost
Yeah.
Tim Burton-esque, like when they're doing the interviews and stuff.
Like we had in the Zeppo.
The Zeppo. Yeah. Well done, baby girl.
Thank you.
Buffy wakes up, all is good and well, surrounded by Giles, Wesley, Angel, and Joyce, and she asks them if they found the killer. I love that that's the first thing she asks. That's what she's concerned about the most. We cut to the gang barging into Freddy's office, cornering him before he can escape, and he's like, okay, Oz, you got me. What are your friends going to do? Like, hold me down and fuck me? But there's been some confusion here because all he did was write a bad review of dingoes, and that's why he's been avoiding Oz. Oh my god. The review says that dingoes play their instruments as if they had plump Polish sausages stuck to their fingers, and even Oz says, That's fair.
I love that they're not good.
Yeah.
They're just shit.
Buffy shows up with a plan, and she says she'll get Snyder to evacuate the school and just hope that the killer's not waiting for them outside. And as Cordelia is flicking through hate mail on Freddy's desk, she starts reading one of the letters, and it says, "By this time tomorrow, you'll all know what I've done. I'm sure you understand that I had to do it, and although death is never easy, it's the only way." God, doesn't anyone write in to praise the cheerleaders?
So-
They see that the letter is from Jonathan, and they all split up to find him. Meanwhile, Jonathan's building a rifle in the bell tower.
Sorry, in my mind's eye, when they all split up to find him, I'd just immediately sort of small boxes of things like Jonathan, like, Jonathan,
Jonathan, open the fridge, Jonathan. In Freddy's office, there's a poster on the wall, and it's of the Gadsden flag. You know, it's like the yellow field with the coiled rattlesnake. It says, "Don't tread on me." It's a flag from like the American Revolution, and it was like a sign against like British oppression. But it also has like a double meaning, because in the original Buffy movie, when it's the school dance, they're trying to come up with a theme for the dance.
Hey guys, I was thinking, there's the senior dance. What if we made a big sign that says, "Don't tread on me"? You know, and a picture of the earth?
How do you not tread on the earth? I mean, you kind of have to, right?
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah.
So Willow checks the library, Oz checks the classroom, and Cordelia is actually spinning people around to look at them, because I thought it was quite funny that she doesn't know what Jonathan looks like. Buffy's looking for him outside when she catches a glimpse of him in the bell tower. Just being very obvious, being like...
Great sound effects. I forget you're very good at those sound effects.
And I'm like... She bolts up the banister of the staircase and jumps and somersault flips onto the roof of the school. I just thought that was a great... There's some behind the scenes shots of the stunt double doing that I'll put in here as well. But I love the crispy curly haired Nancy is like, I could have done that.
Yeah, and no one else notices her doing it. Like,
That's brilliant. Buffy bursts through a boarded up window of the bell tower, and Jonathan points the gun at her, telling her to get away from me. I love his wee weasel voice. Buffy's so nonchalantly being like, "Oh, I'm just here for the view. Oh, look, City Hall." Just thought it was so funny. Jonathan tells Buffy that she can't stop him, and he knows that everyone thinks he's an idiot, and that's when Buffy says, "Well, people don't really think about you at all, honestly. No one does." And she tells Jonathan, "Believe it or not, I understand the pain that you've got." He's like, "Oh, right, because the burden of being beautiful and athletic, that's a crippler."
that was funny.
And Buffy's like, "Do you want to know what? You actually are a dick, because you don't even know me, and my life sucks beyond the telling of it." Like, it really doesn't, Buffy, but whatever. And she's like, basically everyone else's life sucks as well. And she's using obviously everything she's heard in her mind to reach out to Jonathan. Oh my God.
So
She tells him that everyone down there feels lonely and confused. And it's just like kind of a short scene where she just like listens to him, and then she tells him that like not everyone thinks about him. And then he gives her the gun, knowing that she could have taken it off him already. It was just such a wee short scene, but it was very poignant.
Yeah.
Because she didn't reach out by saying like, "No, people love you." It was very like, "You're right, no one cares."
Yeah, but it's not because they hate you, it's because they don't care, and everyone's only thinking for themselves the way you are, you wee slobber, wee tiny smurfy fuck. I also really loved that she's like, "You do know I could have taken this off you at any point, but I'd rather do it this way." I loved that. I thought that was really smart.
Very, very good. Obviously, Jonathan, incredible, played by the brilliant Danny Strong, who's only really had like comedy moments up till now, but getting to show some of his dramatic acting, which was
Who
great.
is amazing in Gilmore Girls and is amazing in Billions.
And he's a famous writer now. He
Oh, is he?
rewrote the book for the musical Chess that's on Broadway, and he also wrote the screenplay for the Hunger Games, the third Hunger Games movie.
That's
very,
amazing.
very good.
That's class, and he's like a really good actor. Very funny. He has this arrogant way of holding himself, which I love because he is smaller in stature. So it's like I love when like shorter gentlemen carry themselves with a real like
shorter gentlemen.
shorter gentlemen carry themselves with a real like their charisma is huge, like, because he's very charismatic and like very funny, like in lots of Gilmore Girls scenes. He'd be quite hilarious. Anyway,
Brilliant.
love that guy.
So when Buffy takes the gun off him, she kind of jokes that mass murder isn't really recommended for that kind of pain, and that prison is pretty much like high school, except instead of noogies, you get bucked in the shower. I'm like, okay, well, here's me in my house getting my gun.
That's what you do with your dildo.
I don't even have a dildo.
What?
I know I'm the worst bottom ever. I don't even have a dildo. Anyway, Jonathan's like, what the fuck? I wasn't even going to hurt anyone. I was just going to kill myself. Oh, Contra. Cut to Xander in the kitchen stealing some Jell-O, and right as he's about to shove it in his gob, he sees that big lunch lady dumping a box of rat poison into a pot of whatever she's making for lunch. And I just love the way that shot sits. Like, he looks at her, she looks at him, but it's like the stuff's still coming out of the box. I just thought it was like, it was very well, it was the timing of this episode, I think, is the pacing was
Comedic
really,
timing.
really good.
Yeah. Direction, I'm assuming. What's the direction?
Per se. He runs out into the canteen, slapping lunches out of people's hand as the lunch lady chases him. And I actually thought it was quite good for Xander. Like, it wasn't his first thought to just run and get Buffy. He's like trying to stop people from eating. So I thought it was like quite heroic. The lunch lady chases him and she's got a big fucking mad cleaver and she's about to chop him up whenever Buffy grabs her arm. And the lunch lady is like, vermin. You're all vermin. I'm like, all right, fatty coming from you. Buffy then is like, I don't see this being settled with logic. And she fully knocks the fuck out of her. And she like roundhouse kicks her, which I just thought was so hilarious. I sent you a voice note last night when I was watching this of just me like pissing myself laughing because I just thought this was so funny. And I text you asking like, is this funnier because she's fat? And you're like, yeah. And obviously we can say that because we're fat. So don't add us in the comments. If you're listening and you've never seen what we look like, we've got 6 packs. Oh my god, 6-pack of fucking beer. Anyway,
But I do.
Buffy.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
go
you
ahead.
go.
No,
you go first. You're going to say, but I do.
Go.
You go first.
But y'all go, don't you, at the end
Oh
of the
my god,
scene?
no. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, Buffy saves the day and the lunch lady is thwarted and all is well in Sunnydale.
So I loved, and as Xander comes running out, yes, I agree with the scene with him, like nearly eating the Jell-O and watching her do that thing. It's very funny. It's just funny. Like, it's like a cartoonish kind of.
Yeah.
And then he comes out, but he doesn't just tell people not to eat. He starts fucking flipping tables and like slamming out of people's hands. He really he does a very good job here with like really committing to the bet. Like he's just running, which must have been so fun to film because like who wouldn't love to go into a room and just start fucking flipping tables idly?
Yeah.
I said idly. And then the fight is really funny because there is like the cut between the actor who plays the lunch lady and then the stunt coordinator, stunt double, who is the one that's actually getting the bollocks knocked in. They're different sizes and they look completely different. I think it might be a man in a wig. I can't tell, but it was very different. Quick cuts though, to be fair. But
I didn't even notice, but I was pissing myself laughing at this.
I was kicked the stunt coordinator, and then you do see I have a whistle in my nose, like me, myself, and Irene right now. Oh, it disappeared. Damn it.
No, it reminds me of in Scrubs when Dr. Kelso's nose is broken and he's walking around the hospital like,
which roundhouse kicks the stunt coordinator, and then all of a sudden it cuts to like the lunch lady falling into the person in the chair. I thought it was very funny. It did make me laugh. I think it is because she's overweight, but this is unfortunately kind of funny watching it.
It's a physical comedy thing. Like, it is funny watching fatter people do. Chris Farley
wouldn't have been as funny if he was a skinny white dude. It's because he's an overweight gentleman falling through a table in that scene.
I think a lot of fatter people are funny because obviously fat people struggle maybe a lot more socially because the world is not designed for people that way.
Fit.
Or
harder to fit in.
Literally. But I saw a great thing on Instagram yesterday where it's like these two bigger guys that have a podcast and they were talking about the worst fat phobic people are fat people that lose weight because they want to extend their proximity to fatness.
Yeah, they want to lift up the ladder on the way up.
like to distance themselves like from, and I just thought it was a really interesting take because it is so true. But nothing tastes better than skinny fields. So, oh my god.
I don't know. I've made a really good carbonara.
I do prefer to feel a big fat one, to be fair. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about that? Before we
No,
go to
just
the
thought it
end?
was really good. I thought it was funny. Witty end.
Lovely. So, we fade into a new day, and Buffy and Willow are walking to school talking about Angel. I need to really try and stop saying every time instead of just like
Pause it.
start a new sentence. It's really annoying me. It's because I'm editing more, so I notice it.
Any of my little ticks that are, like you're already got them banked in the gut. Look at, you've loaded them and all. Can't tell what they are. I'll try not to do them.
No, it's better not to do them because you'll think about them and it will probably exacerbate them.
I want to know now though.
Just anytime you talk, really.
Give me one.
No, they're not bad. They're not bad.
Give me one.
We're both quite bad for saying
Okay.
I'm also really bad for doing this thing. I'll tell you one of mine. So I'm going to say, I text you asking, is it funnier that she's fat? I'll be like, I text you asking if it's funnier because she's fat. Like, what am I doing? Like, I do that. I do that so much.
Never noticed.
It's really annoying, like when I'm editing, because I've got so much space to close the gap. It's really, it's really annoying. I did it again. It's really hard not to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was really quite jarred seeing Buffy's black and white outfit because it felt really like out of place. It's so like blocky monochrome, like black top, white skirt, or the other way around, or whatever. I don't know if it's just because she's next to Willow, who's wearing like fluffy blue and purple and got like white pale fuzzy tights and stuff on. I was almost like, is she CGI'd into this scene? It just felt weird. But they bump into Giles and Willow's like, I'm heading to the yearbook office to give them the murderer profiles because they're actually a really good read. Which I thought was great. Giles and Buffy are doing a walk and talk about Jonathan. Buffy gives us the information that he got suspended, but it's quite nice that she's been checking on him, and she mentions that it's really nice to be able to help someone in a non-slaying capacity, which I thought was great. But she says, except he's starting to get that look like he's going to ask her to prom. Giles suggests that maybe she should, and she's like, what am I saying? Buffy, he's like 3 feet tall.
That made me laugh. I actually laughed out loud at that line. That was funny.
I just thought it was great because it's so harsh, but it is literally just like the whole reason why he's like wanting to kill himself in the first place. A short idiot. Giles asks Buffy if she feels up to training after school, and she's like, yeah, sure, if you're not too busy having sex with my mother. And Giles walks into a tree.
That was funny. All of that was brilliant. I'm so glad that they came back to that, and it was a good button to the TV show.
One of the things I loved about that scene as well is that when Buffy says that, the students behind her like stop and look because they've heard her. They've heard her say it. So I'll have to drop it in here. It was one of the only times yet, like I think the background people have interacted with the scene. I thought it was a really kind of fun thing. Because if you were saying that to the librarian really loud in school, it was also Anthony Stewart Head's idea to walk into the tree.
Oh, it was funny that he did that. He did it very believably because he was so watching her walk off past the camera, which is my favorite thing when they suddenly diverged like this.
Yeah, it's like, remember when you used to like kick a door with your foot, but you'd move your head to make it look like
all the time. I did that all the time. My favorite thing in our school, you had doors that would swing both ways.
If you were through them before someone, you put your foot behind them to stop and then try to go through the door.
I did
you used
that
to do that all the time.
All the time. And you used to get really angry.
Yeah,
and I loved
did.
There is something about making you angry that makes me laugh because you go into like psychopath face because I do have the ability to murder someone. And it's like, you get so like, I'm going to fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I really enjoyed that in school, but I did. Oh, I used to do it all the time. Or just like, I'd open one door and then just put my foot in front of the other one because someone would be walking beside you. So I would go a little bit in front and just put my foot in front of it and they would just be like, Oh, I fucking hate you. Like, I fucking hate you, you fat bitch.
I wasn't good at that stuff. Like, and you used to like always be really good at like kicking the bottom of your foot, so you would kick your own ankle. But I was so bad at doing that, so I was just like kicking you in the leg, in the leg. So yeah, that's that episode. That's that episode.
That's that episode. That's it done.
There's obviously some huge themes in this episode. We're not going to overly dig too much into them. I think the overall theme is like that everyone hurts, and the idea kind of quietly addresses the fact that like pain isn't always visible or dramatic. It's just something that everyone has to deal with, and that you wouldn't normally maybe deal with an issue by saying, well, everyone else has this issue too, but it's oddly comforting
Yeah.
in this sense, because it reinforces the idea that you're not alone in your thoughts like that. A lot of people think like that, and there is something that the reality of that, I think, is actually oddly comforting.
Yeah, I agree. And if you are someone who's struggling with your mental health or with suicidal tendencies, there is help. Like, reaching out and speaking to someone will definitely just reach out and talk to someone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it sound so flippant because we have so many different people who listen from so many different parts of the world. Just type into Google, like, I'm having suicidal thoughts, and you will bring you up immediately with hotlines and people that you can speak to that will help you through that. Because just like Jonathan, everyone deserves to breathe and be alive. Like, you contribute, and that you're not alone. Like, everyone's thinking about themselves, and like, just reach out and get some help.
And if you're not someone who struggles with that, then I think this episode is good at encouraging you to listen to people, because you never know what anyone is going through. And it's when Buffy listens to Jonathan that kind of dismantles his whole idea of what he's going to do. I do love how this episode completely flips the script and like subverts, I guess, maybe the trope. Like, they intentionally lead us to suspect there's going to be like a mass school shooting, and then they reveal obviously that the gun is for suicide, and it's like, it's uncomfortable to watch, and it kind of forces I felt like it kind of forced me to deal with like the assumptions that you make about things, that that pain or something like this is always going to be dramatic and inherently violent, but sometimes suffering is very silent.
Very well said.
What we laughing
What
at?
I was going to say was, it's interesting because you made a point of saying like it was for suicide, not for committing mass murder, and it's like a real big gun. And I was like,
It's
can he
the
reach?
Yeah.
Would his wee arms reach the trigger, and would it be able to, and then my brain went to, no, David, Tony said something sincere. Stop thinking of funny things to think about this episode. So that's why I started smirking. My apologies.
That's okay. That's fine.
But it was a real dramatic thing to like. Anyway, I'm not going to give advice on how you should do it better.
Yeah. Right. So welcome back to our little feature. I'll tell you what it is.
Here, I'll tell you what it is.
Theme song's playing, so. Right, David.
Okay, on 60 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to clock that T.
Oh, you clock, because I'm T and you're clocking that? Oh, man, what?
Cock that T.
Oh, cock that cock. Oh.
You ready?
Yes.
À 3, 2, 1, go.
I'll tell you what it is. Can we talk about easy peel packaging? I go to Tesco or Aldi or other supermarkets are available, and I get my little packet of honey roast ham, and I've got some nice bread in the house, and this is going to be a good lunch for me. I'm feeling pretty good about it, nice and healthy. I've got everything sitting out ready to go, and I see those words on the packet, easy peel. Easy peel for who? A fucking badger? Someone with Wolverine claws? Because every time I see that little triangle corner and easy peel, I think, great, this is going to be simple. And then suddenly I'm in a Saw film with a fucking packet of honey roast ham. That fucking little passive-aggressive corner tab telling me to peel here. I peel there. I try to peel there. Nothing happens. It's super glued shut. I try to peel harder. I use my teeth. I grab a knife. And the whole thing rips apart. And now I have to eat all the ham because I've got no cling film because I was banking on the easy peel resealable packet. Now, I've ruined my fabric scissors. I've accidentally stabbed myself in the hand and the dogs are going mental. I have to give them half the ham. I've used the whole packet of ham for one sandwich, all because it says easy peel. Well, do you want to know what? Nothing that is labelled easy has ever been easy. Easy peel? No. Just for once, I'd like packaging, to be honest. Label it won't peel and call it a day.
I gave you the extra 10 seconds as I was enjoying your rant. Wow. Do you have that written down?
Oh yeah, I had to think about it and
So
slightly
good.
script it. It's just
I
better
like
that way.
No, I like it. I like it. I like it. A badger. This a badger really tickled me for some reason. Okay, I'll tell you what it is.
And go.
So I'll tell you what it is, Tony. People who, I am a musician, as we know, my job is to sing songs. People who come up and think that I'm some sort of fucking jukebox and request songs. I have no qualms about someone coming up and requesting a song from me. What I do have a problem with is if you request this specific odd song that I've never heard of before, which isn't my fault if I haven't heard it, and then you get offended or pissed off at me because I haven't heard the fucking song, and then be like, oh, it doesn't even matter, and be rude, and then continue to shout up
30
that same
seconds.
fucking song over and over and over again, which then makes me turn into an asshole and say, I come into your job in McDonald's to tell you how to flip burgers. No, I fucking don't, right? No, I fucking
15
don't.
seconds.
Really bugs me, and I'd like, don't come in and tell me how to do my job, and I will come in and tell you how to do your job, you ugly fat fuck.
And that's 1 minute. You ugly fat fuck has got to be the best representation of how people think in a customer service jobs.
Oh my god. But honestly,
that was good. Maybe we should boost it to 90 seconds for the future. But I had a whole section of stuff I didn't get to say.
Like what?
Nothing that's ever been labeled easy has ever been actually easy. Is that easy peel? No. Easy assembly? Sure, I'll just crush my fingers and lose all the screws probably. Easy listening? Then why are my ears bleeding, Zane Low?
Saying low, so specific.
But yeah, that was fun. Dave, you can go.
Right, thank you. See you later. And that's it for today's episode, folks. Thank you for joining us. Sound off in comments below and tell us what you liked or didn't like in this Buffy episode.
And while we've got you, feel free to hit that button or slap and tickle that subscribe button. I meant to say hit that like button. I just said hit that button. Damn it. And while we've got you, feel free to hit that like button or slap and tickle that subscribe button too. Any interaction with the podcast is great for the algorithm.
We'd love it if you could leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. A massive thank you to our big buffsters who are subscribed to our Patreon. So we're going to say their names. Kirsty McCauley.
So we're going to say their names. I don't know why I find that so funny. But I love it.
Sorry,
Jill,
massive
Jill?
thank you to our... No, I'm going to do it again. Massive thank you to our big
I'm
buffsters and
gonna keep
patrons
the original one.
who subscribed to us. People like Kirsty McCauley,
Jill,
Leia,
Major Sledge,
Vicky Stedman,
Gary Crossan,
Becoming Buffy,
Jay Monchon,
Jenna McGonigal,
Amanda Grace.
Amanda Goldthorpe.
It's Amanda Goldthorpe.
Oh, right, Goldthorpe. Sorry.
She's going to be so... I texted her like, David said Goldthorpe in the last episode. Don't be raging about it. She was like, no one ever knows how to say it. Suzanne L.
Colin Coyle.
And Ellie McGregor. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for supporting the pod. It means the world and we couldn't do this without you. If you'd like to join our big Buffsters tier and get a shout out, then head on over to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/allbronzenobrains, where you can access exclusive content, interviews, and bonus episodes, all for the price of less than a coffee.
I've never heard of www in about 20 years. It's so interesting. Join us here next week when we'll be talking about choices as Willow takes on Faith and we get one step closer to the ascension.
Ooh,
See you then.
Ascend,
Bye.
baby.
Bye, girl. Bye. Right, see you later, folks.
Au revoir, faggots.